Hello and welcome to the Inspired Choices TV. I am your host, Christine McIver, and we have another inspiring guest that's here with us today. I'm so excited with all of these amazing people that I get to meet and interview and just have a conversation with. You know, the world can be filled with so much heaviness and so much worry. There's always something on the news, which I don't watch a great deal of, but my gosh, every time we turn around, there's something so heavy. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this TV show is to show the world what inspiration can look like, and it's happening all around us. If you're someone that knows someone who's inspiring and you think they'd be a great match for my TV show, or if you're someone who believes they're a great match, please get in touch with me. Christine at inspiredchoices.ca is my email address, and I would love to hear from you. So today, I'm very excited about having this young woman with us today. Her name is Whitney Douglas, and we actually met about 2 months ago at an event, a women's event. And when I heard her name and I heard where she was from, I absolutely was positive that I must know her in some way, at least in an indirect way. So, Whitney, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here. And so our connection is actually your mom.
Yep.
So I had actually moved to Guelph in 1990, and I'd been going to see a chiropractor when I was growing up in Stratford, is where I grew up. And I moved to Guelph, and I was like, okay, I need to get a chiropractor because I really enjoy going to chiropractors. My body really likes chiropractors. And I met your mom. So I've known your mom for a very, very long time, and of course her maiden name is Whitney.
That's right.
So I heard your name and I'm like,
there's a connection.
There, I think I know this woman. So I was so happy to meet you and to hear about your story.
Oh, likewise.
And I was like, I definitely would love to have you on the show. So Whitney is, well, you don't really have a title per se because you do so many different things in the world.
Yes, a lot.
So you're an entrepreneur.
Yep.
You own a company called Refresh Juice.
Yes.
In Guelph.
Yes.
You're just in Guelph.
Well, we have one location in Guelph, but we distribute to a number of cities in the surrounding
You distribute to
area.
other cities. Wonderful. And you also work full time.
Yes.
For another company. You're in sales.
Yes, that's right.
You're married.
Yes.
You're the mother of 3.
That's right.
The sister, you have 2 sisters.
Yes.
You're just everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on.
It's a busy time.
It's a busy time. So I really wanted to talk about how you're creating greater in your life and how you're actually impacting other people in the world. Because you are. Do you see that?
I think I'm seeing more of it now that starting Refresh and kind of just getting feedback and hearing all the positive things
right.
that, around it and watching it grow. It's
right.
definitely, we get a lot of testimonials from a lot of people, just like our products are, improving their lives. And
right.
that's kind of the reason why we started it,
sure.
In the beginning.
So take us back. You obviously went through high school. What did you think you were going to do? What was your target?
Oh my gosh, it changed so many times. I wanted to be a midwife. Then I wanted to be a chiropractor to follow in my mom's footsteps.
And your grandfather's footsteps.
And my grandfather's footsteps and my aunt's footsteps.
And your aunt's
yes, there was a lot of chiropractors in my family, so that was obviously a natural,
It seemed logical.
Yeah, it just seemed logical. I could just step right into it.
Right.
And then, to be honest with you, I went to university for about a year and a half, and then I had children. And then I thought, okay, I'm just going to go back to university when my second child is 9 months old.
What did you go to university
I was doing
for?
sciences, so all the preliminary
okay.
sciences that you would need to get either into midwifery college or chiropractic college.
Okay.
Anyway, so I tried going back to university in a heavy science program when my son was 9 weeks old. And I just thought, this should be no problem.
No problem. Baby at home, no problem.
Yeah, no, that did not pan out well. I forgot that newborn babies don't go to bed until like midnight.
Yes.
So then I would get my physics textbook out and I would do physics
at midnight.
At midnight. It just, you know what? I just said, I'm putting this off right now. Like, it's important for me just to focus on my family. And my husband was in school too, full time, doing his honors degree at University of Guelph. So we couldn't both be living this crazy. Plus, someone had to work and make money.
Oh yeah, that.
Because it doesn't really grow on trees, like they tell you in the stories.
Yes.
So yeah, I just kind of put it to the side, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to circle back to this when it's the right time and when the kids get a little bit older. Right. And I ended up falling into a path, like into sales, into something that was still kind of in line with what I wanted to do because it was health and wellness.
Right. So you wanted to stay in that field.
Definitely. So it made complete sense. And as soon as I started working in that industry, which I've been in for 13 years, I loved it. And it was just, it was a natural fit.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. And then Refresh is just a further extension of
So how did that come to be?
The juice company?
Yes.
Honestly, I was at a yoga show, and I met some girls who started one in Toronto, and I'd always been familiar with juice and smooth, that whole industry, but I didn't really realize how big it was outside of Canada. So I was like, this cold pressed juice looks really interesting. I thought it was beautiful because the bottles, and it was just it was so delicious tasting. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do some research on this. And then I'm reading about LA and New York and England and all these there's thousands of different companies popping up. I'm like, this would be an amazing business, and Guelph doesn't have anything like this.
Right.
And really, actually, at that time, our end of Ontario didn't have anything. With the exception of a couple, small startup companies.
Right.
But we had a huge gap in Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, Burlington.
Right.
So I was like, no, I think this would be a really, really great idea. And Amanda, my business partner, who I've known since I was in grade 7, we'd always known we want to start a business together. It was just kind of finding the right model, the right time. Our kids are all older now, so we had more time. And she's sort of the operating partner, so she's there during the day, and she takes care of all the customers. I do all the behind the scenes stuff, so I'm not, we have a good balance of our skills.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell us about, give us a few minutes just about how you create the juice. Because so you say cold press like it's everybody understands it.
Well, when you say, when people make juice at home, they usually use a Breville, or I think back in the 80s and 90s it was the Jack LaLanne, super juicer. Yes. I don't know really. So that is called a centrifuge juicer. So you kind of pop stuff through the top, and it uses speed and velocity, and it separates the pulp from the actual juice.
Right.
The problem is it creates a little bit of heat. You have to drink it right away. It separates. It oxidizes quickly. It's not a very gentle process. Cold pressing is a 2-part process. So the produce is gently grinded, and then it's actually put between 2 blades or 2 press plates. So it's thousands and thousands of pounds of pressure that's actually extracting everything, as opposed to grinding it up in a really aggressive process. So there's way more nutrition in it. It lasts for 3 to 4 days. You can just, it doesn't have any of the weird little bits in it. It's delicious. It's just, and it's healthier. And so, the cold press, the fact that we bottle it, it allows people to pick up, a couple days worth at a time. If you don't have time to juice at home, and you want to kind of just up your fruit and vegetable intake, then it allows you to kind of stock up a little bit.
Okay.
You can get a 6-pack, or
Right. But you can't keep it longer than 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, and it's like anything. It just starts to oxidize, heat and oxygen, and opening, closing the fridge.
Right.
And, all those things oxidize the nutrients.
Right.
So the fresher that you can, the quicker you can consume it, the better.
Right.
Still tastes fine. It's just maybe not as nutritious.
Right. Okay, cool. So you've been doing this business for how long now?
We started it in May 2014, super small scale. We got into farmers markets. We were doing a little bit of wholesale by the fall, customers that were interested in carrying it. And then we had to make that big decision because we needed to purchase a big juicer, and it was a humongous $25,000 purchase, and it was wow. It's a really big industrial juicer, because we knew that we had to. It's we couldn't use this little juicer anymore. We had to get something that was going to.
So where were you doing this? Were you doing it in your kitchens?
Oh no! We had to rent out commercial kitchen space, and we worked at night. It was just
after you put all of your children to bed.
Yeah, these juicing elves. So
you're back to the midnight schedule again.
Yeah, we were doing. Yeah, that was exactly. Really, full circle. It came back full circle. And we were just talking about it yesterday on the phone, actually. And Amanda said to me, working so late at night making juice, that was the worst time of my life. And I'm like,
but the things that we will do when we have this knowing that we absolutely have to do it, and that it's going to be amazing.
Totally. I mean, at some point, you're totally right. I feel like we never stopped. I mean, we could have easily stopped. Right. It wasn't at a point where we were in debt a lot in the small startup phase.
Right.
We could have turned around at any point.
Right.
But I feel like the momentum that we were gaining with our customers, and just, coming to the markets, and these people are like, can you deliver to my house? And I want to bring this, I want to carry juice in my store. We're like, hey, there's something here, because people are
asking.
Yeah, they want it.
Right.
And that the response has been so great, and it just continues to get better. So we couldn't really just say, oh, no, let's just give up, because...
Right. But when you and Amanda started in the beginning, you had a knowing. It's kind of like, back to the baby, at midnight, you were starting your studies. You wouldn't give your baby up because you had a knowing about your baby, right? And this is a different baby. I mean, I think we all have, many of us entrepreneurs have this knowing.
Yeah.
And we're birthing a baby of sorts, right? And we have this knowing where nobody else gets it. Nobody else really is going to get it. Amanda would get it with you, but nobody else is really going to get it on the scale that you got it about what this business could really, really be. You'll have cheerleaders, but who's going to put in those late night, midnight hours, right?
No, everyone thought we were totally nuts.
Right.
They're like, and you're making no money, you're exhausted.
But you don't see that this thing is going to go into stores. You don't see the future but you have this knowing.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think for a lot of people like yourself who are starters, and it doesn't matter how old you are, like it literally doesn't, whether somebody's out there is 75 or somebody is 15, right? When you get that hit, if you'll pay attention to it, whether it's really loud or it's whispering, and you just keep taking another step, it's amazing where it can take you.
It's true. I think you just have to be open, and I've always tried to be open to opportunities. Like I'm kind of like, I wonder what could happen there. Yeah, I think you get a gut feeling. You get this, I always say, like, if you have to be just scared enough that like you have some sleepless nights, but not too scared that you'd ever shut the door down. Like it's gotta, any kind of new venture or new, even coming on the show today, I was just like, oh my God, I've never been on.
So this is a TV debut.
Yahoo!
Doing fabulous.
I felt like, a little bit outside of my comfort zone is always healthy, but it's you feel it. Like, this is good. No, I got to do this. I got to push on with this. There's intention or something. There's some sort of, and I felt like a lot of both Amanda and I and our past work experiences kind of were all sort of with some intention kind of heading us to this place, and it's gone off pretty flawlessly so far. That's been great.
Fantastic. So you work full-time in sales, also in the health industry, right? And so when are you working on your business?
Until about 2 a.m.
So you're still doing this?
Oh yeah, till late at night. Like I do, like the marketing, the planning, the sales, the financial stuff. Like anything that's not like physically at the store, is what I'm in charge of.
So you're able to do it wherever you are,
exactly,
on your computer.
I can do it on the weekends, and I love being in the store. I'll pop into the store on the weekends and just hang out for a little bit and see, hang out with customers and stuff. But we have tons of staff and great, amazing staff that are there as well. So it's great.
So what's the future of the juice business for you?
Well, right now we're at a pretty we're at a critical time because we're making some decisions about like direction, like are we taking this to like consumer package, or are we opening up more stores? Do we want to have more brick and mortar stores? And so those are sort of the decisions that we're making right now. We're about to launch our website, so our website's going to be launching this week. So it's an e-commerce website, so there's a delivery area, so you can pick and fill up your little juice crate, and then we deliver twice a week. So maybe online, we're kind of just gently trying out, and testing markets.
Yes.
I feel like my gut, I want to have more stores because I love that experience.
Right.
But who knows? There could be a line extension that's going into retail, like a different type. Who knows?
Well, I think if you keep, making a choice and then seeing what evolves there, as long as you're not, having to mortgage your home and
totally
right. It's like you don't know until you actually step into something at what is going to work and what isn't going to work.
It's true, and then when it's with your money, you're very careful.
Right.
Like, we've been very slow to make certain decisions because in the very beginning, all the advice I got from every entrepreneur, I have tons of beautiful women and men entrepreneurs in my life that, I'm stubborn, like I want to learn from my own experiences, but I was very careful to listen to what they were saying.
Right.
And growing too fast, spending too much money, not really analyzing what you need, and then, you're like, why did we spend $1,000 on that? It didn't even do anything, or why did we market this way? So we're not growing like as quickly as we could, but I think it's important because we're trying to keep things really tight budget-wise and just do it smartly so that, because we do have responsibilities to our children and our homes and our husbands.
But this is what works for you.
Yeah, and it's working.
You know, I've made a lot of choices. I've been in my own business for 8 years now, and I've made choices, and I went, sugar, that didn't, it didn't go where it wanted. But one thing that I always knew was there was always something that I got from that experience.
Totally.
Right? So even, if you're an entrepreneur out there, you're thinking about it, don't sit and hold it. I think that's one thing that, like you said, if something is stretching you, you know that there's something in there for you, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
And I think that that's something that anyone of any age, I really encourage them to try it. Try it. Step out into it. You don't have to lose your shirt in it.
No.
But do listen to an opportunity, right? There's so many opportunities. I'm sure now that you're here, you and Amanda are here in this business, I'm sure you see opportunities all the time now.
I have a serious problem. I have a very, sometimes my husband's just like, stop. You have enough on your plate. We're looking at the other businesses completely unrelated, just things that would be really, really cool. And my father-in-law said, you know what? I told her, I said, she brought up the idea to me, and I said, look, Whitney has enough on her plate right now. No more businesses for a little while, at least for 1 year, okay? No more.
But I think what's really cool about this, Whitney, is you're willing to receive it.
Yes.
Whether you take action on it or not, right? It's when you get that entrepreneurial spirit moving, right? It's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Look at all of this. Look what is actually possible, right?
So true.
And I think, this episode is educating yourself, right? It's all about, the University of Education of you, right? And it's really that taking that step and really learning, right? Because you went to university, but the real university has been you.
It's true. I have learned more in the last 2 years about myself, about business, and just looking at it from a totally different lens than I would have as an employee, now being an employer and, budgeting and spending money and building something than it's been so invaluable.
You couldn't get that in university.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't at all. And I think you have to, it's kind of like that university versus college debate, you know? And I think both are super valuable. I really, really do.
Right.
But there's something about really getting on the ground floor and being a part of all the experiences. And especially in a small business, you wear so many hats, You
do.
One day we're washing bottles. One day we're, doing accounting. The next day, we're hiring employees. That's a lot of different.
And then you're on TV.
And then you're on TV. That's a lot of different wheelhouses. Your wheelhouse becomes this massive thing.
But as you've been adding all of these different experiences, how much more do you value what you're choosing and how much capacity do you actually have? Right? Because if you look back to when you first were going to university and your son, did you ever imagine you could really do everything that you're doing today?
No, definitely not. But a lot of that is fear. A lot of that, and I watched this amazing speech from Jim Carrey, strangely enough, Jim Carrey.
Yes.
On fear. He was addressing, I think it was Stanford University.
Yes, I saw it too.
And, when I listened to him and I was like, what, it's so totally true. Most of the decisions that we make are we disguise them as logic or, being careful and mature, but really it's just fear.
Right.
You make decisions around what you're scared to do because all the other options seem just no, that's the more mature decision. I'm not going to risk all this money. But really you don't get much, you can fail just as much at something that is safe,
logical,
and is logical as doing what you really want. So why wouldn't you do what you really want? And starting this business was an opportunity. Who knows where it's going to go? I just wanted an opportunity to flex my muscles a little bit in that entrepreneurial world and just see what can I do. I love marketing. I've always loved marketing, but I've always worked in sales primarily. So am I actually good at this? Well, it turns out pretty good.
Who knew?
Pretty good.
That's awesome. That is fantastic.
So I just wanted to try, be able to try something, create in a little bit different than what I was used to doing.
Right.
And it's been great so far. It's been fun.
So if your children grow up and they want to start their own businesses, what are the top 3 things that you would say to your kids?
Oh my gosh. Top 3 things I would say to my children.
Pay your mother.
Do it. Like, absolutely do it. But really, really do your research on what it is, especially if you're looking to, spend a lot of money. Which some businesses require a lot of startup. It just really depends on what it is. Do your research and make sure that this is really viable. Like, talk to people. Mm-hmm. Get an idea before you jump in. And start small. And don't bite off more than you can chew. Because I think I've seen a number of businesses in the Guelph where, when they opened up, and it's just, I was just kind of like, oh, like maybe in Toronto, but like, this is Guelph, like I don't,
right. So know your area, know your market.
Know your market, be like, really understand what you're getting into before you get into it, and be open to talking and having mentors, because they're so valuable, and so many people have kind of that business ego. It's like, if I can be a chef, that means that I should own a restaurant, or if I can, and it's like,
totally know what you're talking about.
And be open to people's feedback and trying new things, and listening to people's experiences, because there's a lot you can learn from that, and just listen.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I would suggest as well is don't stop listening to you either.
No, of course
right?
not.
Like
totally.
That's a really important thing. A lot of people, like you said, get a mentor or get a coach. I'm a professional coach, mm-hmm. and I coach people around these things all of the time.
Right.
The first coaches in the world were actually the entrepreneurs, of large businesses. They didn't have anybody to talk to, and that's why they started hiring coaches. That's where this whole life coach, business coach came from.
Really?
Yeah, it's from the CEOs of the organization, that they couldn't go talk to their, the people that their employees, because they wanted to stretch themselves, or they were having challenges or whatever. So that's where they started to get a coach. Mm-hmm. So whether it's a coach or it's a mentor, mm-hmm. really get someone that's willing to say what it is your best friend would never say to you.
Totally. Yep. No, it's very true.
Right?
They need to be, like, it's not about saying yes.
Exactly.
It's about, and I think I actually had an experience with one of our coaches a little while ago, and she was able to tell me, like, you know what? You need to start being less reactive, more proactive. It's because you've got too much on your plate right now, and what you need to do is just manage your time in a different way.
Right.
It's all manageable. Right, but what happens is if you're not spending the right time in the right places, and I didn't like hearing that. I was just like, oh, you see it, because I knew it. Like,
right,
I'm feeling it. I totally felt it, but she had to say it, and hearing her say it, I was just like, okay, so if I feel it and you're seeing it, then
there's something
we need to fix this.
Yeah, a lot of times with my clients, I'll be like, okay, so actually when they hire me at the very beginning, I'll say, so if I'm a really good coach, sometimes I'm going to really tick you off. And they'll be like, they look at me, I'm like, no, seriously. And then when I'm about to say something, I'll be, okay, are you ready? Remember, I do really care about you, okay? And they'll be like, oh no, what's she going to say now? But it's true. I mean, we've got to be willing to look at the bits that aren't always shiny. We've got to be willing to, if we really want to have skin in the game, and we really want to keep following what's speaking to us, we've got to be willing to look at the parts that aren't always pretty.
It's true. I definitely agree, because you're not really improving. There's always something you can do better, and there's always something you're not doing that well. But if someone's just coaching you through all the greats, oh, you're doing amazing.
Yeah.
You're not really growing.
No.
You're just staying status quo.
Yeah. I just got a vision of your press. Mm-hmm. It's like when the world starts pressing in on you, the really yummy juice of you can come out. I just got that visual as you were talking.
My husband says, I know when things are getting too much for you, because you will watch an episode of The Kardashians, and that's when I know you really need to zone out of the world. Because, like, you need, like, complete fluff.
Just, like, don't talk to me.
No documentaries, nothing intelligent. I just need to, like, he's like, oh God, it's a bad day.
Oh dear.
You're watching Kim Kardashian.
Mom's watching the Kardashians. Let's get out of here.
Which I don't watch very often. Let's just make that very clear.
Right. So, what is it about being an entrepreneur that really motivates you, that really speaks to you? Because you're like, we've talked about your time right now, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure you could be 6 places right now, and you're here with me.
Yeah.
What is it about being an entrepreneur that keeps pulling at you?
It's just so cool to watch something grow from something so small And I mean, we sell a product and we have a store, so we have a lot of customer interface. Like
Yeah.
we're and watching the response and watching it just kind of blossom naturally into this really cool thing. And I love that it is something that is helping people, because people, like the testimonials we get about like how great they feel. Oh my gosh, like we have customers that will send them, 12 or 13 juices a week every week, and they're like, you don't understand, like I look amazing, I feel amazing, I'm sleeping better, like, and they're like addicted. But I mean, we're not selling candy bars or candy, like we're selling health.
Right.
And we're selling convenience.
Right.
So it's like, it's something that was needed, there was a gap and we filled it, and it's making people feel and look better, and that feels really good.
That feels good. Mm-hmm. Watching something grow is fantastic. So where can people get in touch with you, Whitney?
hello@refreshjuiceco.com is our kind of general, all media questions, orders, everything. There. The store is at 33 Quebec Street, downtown Guelph.
Awesome.
So you can drop in and get a juice or a smoothie.
I'm actually going there in about 3 hours. I'm going to be going to your store.
Oh, excellent. Yay!
And so tell me, what will the website address be when this actually broadcasts? Your website should be out.
Yep. So it'll be www.refreshjuiceco.com.
Okay. Awesome.
And there's a blog. We have a blog, like a wellness lifestyle blog. We've got all this, like a shopping cart you can shop.
And you're on Facebook. You have a
Facebook
page.
Instagram, Twitter, all at Refresh Juice.
Refreshjuice.com. Cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have a few questions I ask all of my guests.
Okay.
So tell me, what is your favorite inspirational quote, and how has it influenced you in your life?
I think I'm going to circle back to the Jim Carrey one.
Okay.
That you can fail just as easily. It's something you don't want is something you do. So definitely that one changed my life. That quote changed my life for sure.
So as you're choosing something, even if it's failing, you know that you could do anything.
Well, yeah, you could pick a safe job. The quote with him is about his dad, and his dad was, I think he was a stockbroker or something, really, an accountant.
Right, an accountant.
Right,
yeah.
but he was also a comedian. So he talks about how his father could have been 10 times more successful and famous as him at comedy, but never chose to go down that road because he wanted something safe and stable for his family.
Right.
But then ended up losing his job as an accountant, and their family fell on very, very severe financial hardship.
Right.
So, I mean, you can pick something safe, but that could go really bad too.
Right. There's no guarantees.
There's no real safe, right?
No.
So you might as well pick something that you love and that inspires you,
Exactly.
because that could go bad too.
Yeah.
But at least you're happy.
Totally. I did human resources for 20 years, and people were always like, oh, the company, if the company goes under and everything. I say, look, whether you're employed by somebody else or you have your own business, you're in your own business. As long as you get out of bed every day, that guarantees you're moving forward.
True enough.
So it doesn't matter. Don't put our hook on everybody else. Mm-hmm. It's about ourselves, right?
It's true.
So what inspires you to get out of bed in the morning?
What inspires me? Oh my gosh, my husband always puts on the best coffee, and I can smell it, and I'm like, all right, I can get out now.
That's fabulous.
I think I have to get inspired to get up, because I got to be inspired to make lunches and hang out with my beautiful children, and I guess I get a lot of inspiration just from my family. They're pretty awesome.
That's fantastic. So how old are your children?
My oldest is 13, and then my daughter, and then my middle child, who's Noah, the boy. Mm-hmm. He is 11, and then Amelia is 8.
And what's your oldest daughter's name?
Acacia.
Because you didn't say her name.
I did not say her name.
Because I know kids, they'll go, Mom, why didn't you say my name?
I know, it's true.
So what has been the most surprising thing that you've chosen in your life?
The most surprising thing that I've chosen, if I think I can speak to a lot of people that probably knew me when I was a wild young teenager, probably settling down and being a bunch of our friends had kids fairly youngish. I had kids pretty young. I think that was probably a major 180 compared to what I was when I was 19 versus 23, and I'm this mom and at the market and babies and snugglies. People are like, whoa.
360.
Major.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what is your greatest secret to creating the life you have?
You just said it. The secret.
That's your secret.
That's my secret.
Cool.
No, thoughts turn to things. My mom has always taught me about positive visualization, and not just like thinking about where you see yourself or what you want, but really just like truly imagining it. So like if your dream is to, she talks about this with her building. She's like, I didn't just imagine owning a practice. I imagined how it would look, how it would feel when I walk in the door, what the office would look like, what the lighting would be like. You really just continually imagine and dream and visualize what you want. And so far it's worked.
Cool.
And I also think the universe brings you like not just what you want, but what you need. Right. So it's a little bit of both.
So what name other than the one you own would you like to be called by?
Other than my first name?
Yes. What would be fun for you?
Oh my gosh. I
You can say anything.
I love the name Nigella.
Nigella?
I've always loved that name.
Nigella. I like it too.
Nigella. Nigella of the juice.
Nigella of the juice. I think that should be a new tagline for you.
I think it actually means onion seed. But it's a really pretty name. You know that cook, Nigella Lawson, she's so cool. I've always loved her. I thought she had a great name.
There you go. Thank you so much for being here,
Thanks
Whitney.
for having me. This is fun.
Thank you for everything you're creating in the world.
Thank you.
I know that you are making a contribution, and you certainly did for all of our viewers.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today and for joining us on this great adventure with Whitney. If you are looking to follow and knowing that you have a spark, something that's speaking to you, listen to it. What contribution could you be making in the world tomorrow if you are actually willing to listen to that whisper today? Stay tuned. Next week, we'll have another inspiring guest here on Inspired Choices TV. Thank you.